Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, where we break down real health advice that actually works. Especially as we age. Now, let me ask you something. What's the first thing you usually reach for at breakfast? For most of us, it's bread, right? Toast, a sandwich, maybe a warm slice of banana bread with your coffee? But here's the catch. What if that familiar comfort food isn't actually comforting your body anymore? Today we're diving into a surprising truth: how bread can quietly work against your health after the age of 60, and what to do about it. And to help us unpack this, we're guided by one of the most respected voices in healthy aging, Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara. Japan's oldest practicing physician, over 100 years old, still seeing patients, still walking every day, and still sharp as ever. Now, Dr. Hinohara's message isn't about fear. It's about awareness. He says, as we age, our bodies respond differently to food, especially foods that mess with blood sugar, inflammation, or gut balance. And guess what? Bread, yes, even that harmless-looking slice of toast, can be one of the quietest culprits. But here's the good news: this episode isn't about quitting bread. Far from it. It's about learning which breads actually support your joints, your memory, and your energy, and which ones are slowing you down before the day even starts. So whether you're in your 60s, or just want to eat smarter for long-term health, this is one video you'll want to stick around for. Let's get into it. Alright, let's get into the first type of bread that you might want to rethink, especially if you're over 60. It's probably the most common one out there: white bread. Now, I know what you're thinking. Come on. It's just white toast. It's soft. It's light. And it's been on our breakfast plates since childhood. But here's what most people don't realize: white bread today is not the bread our grandparents ate. It's made from highly refined flour, usually bleached, stripped of fiber, and pumped full of synthetic nutrients that our aging bodies actually struggle to absorb. It gives you a quick surge of glucose, yes, almost like sugar, which spikes your insulin. And that's when trouble starts. Over time, those spikes contribute to joint inflammation, memory issues, and even poor circulation. Let me share a quick story. One of Dr. Hinohara's patients, Mr. Nakawa, 72 years old, active, no serious conditions, said he constantly felt foggy and crashed every afternoon. Turns out, his mornings always started with 2 slices of white toast. That's it. When they swapped that for a slower digesting bread, his energy leveled out within days. His knees stopped aching. His mind felt sharper. So here's the takeaway: white bread might look harmless, but it acts more like a sugary snack than a nourishing food, especially after 60. Think of it like candy. Fine once in a while, but not something you want to rely on every day. Now, let's talk about a bread that looks healthy, but might be tricking you: multigrain bread. It sounds smart, right? Multigrain. It's got that earthy color, maybe a few seeds on top, and the label screams things like natural or made with whole wheat. But here's the truth, and it might surprise you: most multigrain bread is just white bread in disguise. In many cases, those grains are just sprinkled on top for looks, while the base is still made from refined white flour. Some even use caramel coloring or molasses to give it that darker, healthier appearance. But your body doesn't care about appearances, it reacts to what's inside. And what's inside is usually the same fast-digesting starch that spikes your blood sugar and leaves you with that crashy, sluggish feeling by mid-morning. I've seen people say, "Hey, I switched from white bread to multigrain, why am I still tired and foggy?" And this is the reason. Unless that label says 100% whole grain as the first ingredient, chances are, it's just clever marketing. So if you're trying to take care of your heart, your memory, your energy levels, especially after 60, don't fall for the label alone. Flip that bag over, read the ingredients, and make sure it's the kind of grain your body can actually use. Multigrain might sound like a health win, but if it's not truly whole, it's not helping you. Alright, let's talk about one of the biggest nutrition myths out there: gluten-free bread. Now, don't get me wrong, if you have celiac disease or a diagnosed gluten sensitivity, going gluten-free is absolutely essential. But for the rest of us, especially if you're over 60, that gluten-free label might be doing you more harm than good. Here's why. Most commercial gluten-free breads aren't made with whole grains. They're usually made with refined starches like potato starch, tapioca, rice flour, or cornstarch. Sounds innocent, right? But these break down super quickly in your body, even faster than white bread, spiking your blood sugar and leaving you in a crash zone an hour later. And that's not all. Because gluten helps hold bread together, manufacturers replace it with a cocktail of gums, binders, and emulsifiers, things like xanthan gum or guar gum. For many older adults, those additives can irritate the gut lining, slow digestion, and even contribute to bloating and joint pain. A 2021 study found that seniors who regularly ate processed gluten-free products had higher levels of inflammation and insulin resistance compared to those who stuck with whole grains. So what's the takeaway? Just because it says gluten-free doesn't mean it's healthy. Always flip the package over and check the ingredients. If it starts with starches and contains a long list of hard-to-pronounce additives, that's a red flag. Bottom line, unless you need to avoid gluten for medical reasons, you're often better off choosing real, whole grain breads than these ultra-processed gluten-free alternatives. Alright, let's be honest for a second, who doesn't love a warm slice of banana bread with coffee? Or maybe raisin toast, cinnamon swirl? Sweet breads are comforting. They remind us of home, holidays, and slow Sunday mornings. Now, let's talk about a type of bread that sounds super healthy, multigrain bread. I mean, just the name makes you feel like you're doing something great for your heart, your digestion, your overall health. But hold on, this might surprise you. The truth is, most multigrain bread on the market is just white bread, in disguise. Yep, all those seeds on top? They're often just for show. The inside is still made with refined white flour, which digests fast, spikes your blood sugar, and leaves you feeling tired or foggy an hour later. To make it look healthier, many brands add caramel coloring or molasses to give the bread a darker, whole wheat appearance. But let's be real, your body doesn't respond to looks. It responds to ingredients. I've talked to plenty of people who say, I gave up white bread and switched to multigrain, but I still feel bloated and drained. And this is why. They didn't actually change the substance, just the surface. Here's a quick tip. If the first ingredient on the label doesn't say 100% whole grain, you're likely being misled. Marketing can dress it up, but your body knows better. So, the bottom line? Multigrain bread isn't always the healthy choice it claims to be. Don't just trust the front of the label, flip it over. Read the ingredients, and choose bread that truly nourishes you. Your energy, your joints, and your brain will thank you. But here's the part we often ignore, sweet breads might be one of the worst ways to start your day. Especially after 60. Why? Because they're usually packed with the exact combo your body doesn't want: refined flour, added sugars, seed oils, and preservatives. That mix doesn't just spike your blood sugar, it sets off a chain reaction. 1 minute you're energized, the next you're crashing. Over time, this can lead to weight gain, inflammation, brain fog, and even trouble sleeping. And this isn't just theory. A 2020 Harvard study found that older adults who regularly started their mornings with refined carbs had a 32% higher risk of developing metabolic syndrome within 5 years. That's huge. Here's the kicker, it feels like a gentle start to the day. But it's really a metabolic ambush. Your body spends the whole day trying to recover from that sugary breakfast. Look, I get it. I used to grab a muffin or a quick cinnamon roll on the way to work and think I was being efficient. But if you want long-term energy, sharper thinking, and fewer aches, it might be time to rethink the sweet stuff. So the next time you reach for that cozy slice of banana bread, just ask yourself, is this really comforting your body? Or just your habits? So we've talked about the breads you might want to leave behind, but now let's talk about what you can actually enjoy that also loves your body back. First up on our list of smart choices, sprouted grain bread. You might have seen it at the grocery store, brands like Ezekiel bread in the freezer section. It doesn't look fancy, and it doesn't try to be. But here's the thing, it's one of the most nutrient-dense, gut-friendly types of bread you can eat, especially after 60. Why? Because sprouted grains have already started to grow, literally. That sprouting process helps break down some of the hard-to-digest parts of the grain and unlocks vitamins and minerals that are otherwise trapped. So for your body, especially one that's not 25 anymore, it's like getting food that's already halfway digested, in the best way possible. It's also loaded with natural fiber, meaning it gives you steady energy without spiking your blood sugar. No more crash an hour after breakfast. Plus, it supports digestion, brain clarity, and joint comfort, things we all want a little more of as we age. Oh, and another bonus? You'll often find sprouted bread in the freezer aisle because it doesn't have preservatives. That's not a downside, that's a sign of real, living food. So if you're looking for bread that actually nourishes you, not just fills you up, sprouted grain bread is an amazing place to start. Next up on our list of breads that actually support your health, let's talk about a real classic, traditional sourdough bread. Now, this isn't just a foodie trend or something fancy you pick up at a farmer's market. Traditional sourdough is actually one of the most senior-friendly breads out there, and it all comes down to how it's made. Instead of commercial yeast, real sourdough uses a natural starter, a mix of wild yeast and beneficial bacteria that's been fermented slowly, sometimes for days. And that slow fermentation? It does some pretty amazing things. First, it breaks down a good portion of the gluten and reduces phytic acid, which is a compound that normally blocks your body from absorbing minerals. With sourdough, your body can take in more magnesium, zinc, and other key nutrients, all crucial for brain function, bone health, and even mood. Second, that same fermentation process slows digestion, helping to prevent blood sugar spikes, something especially important as we age. In fact, a 2022 study found that older adults who ate traditionally fermented sourdough had better post-meal glucose control and lower inflammation than those who ate regular bread. And honestly, it just tastes amazing. Real sourdough has this rich, slightly tangy flavor that satisfies without needing butter or jam on top. You eat slower, you feel more full, and that alone can help support better eating habits. So if you're looking for a bread that truly works with your body, sourdough might just be your new best friend. Alright, let's move on to another bread that doesn't get nearly enough love, whole grain rye bread. Now, if you've ever traveled through parts of Europe, especially Scandinavia or Germany, rye bread is everywhere, thick, dark, hearty. But here in the US, what we often get is the soft, sweet, sandwich-style rye, which honestly, isn't the real thing. True rye bread, the dense kind made with whole grain rye flour, is a powerhouse for people over 60. One of the standout nutrients in rye is a special type of fiber called arabinoxylin. Why does that matter? Because this fiber not only helps slow down digestion, which keeps your blood sugar stable, it also feeds the good bacteria in your gut. And when your gut is happy, everything improves. Digestion, mood, even inflammation. A 2021 Scandinavian study found that older adults who regularly ate rye had better insulin sensitivity and lower inflammatory markers than those who ate wheat-based breads. So if you're someone managing prediabetes, joint stiffness, or just trying to stay sharp, rye bread could quietly become your best nutritional ally. Now, quick tip. Not all rye is created equal. Avoid the soft, sweet rye loaves you find in most delis. Those are often made with white flour and added sugar. What you want is the dense, seeded, whole grain kind, where rye flour is the first ingredient. And the list is short and simple. It's not flashy, but it's steady, and after 60, that's exactly what your body needs. Let's wrap up this list with a bread that's probably the most quietly powerful of them all, brown or black rice bread. It doesn't look fancy. It doesn't have marketing buzzwords like supergran or detox. But trust me, it's one of the most gut-friendly, gentle, and dependable breads you can eat after 60. Why? First off, rice bread, when it's made from whole brown or black rice, is naturally gluten-free. But unlike most commercial gluten-free breads filled with empty starches, this one is made from a single whole grain. That means it's easier to digest and doesn't irritate your gut the way artificial binders and gums can. Even better, it contains something called resistant starch, a special type of carbohydrate that feeds the good bacteria in your gut. And when your microbiome is happy, everything from mood to metabolism gets a boost. Rice bread also digests slowly, meaning it won't cause blood sugar spikes, and that's huge for anyone managing prediabetes, energy crashes, or inflammation. Now, here's what I love most. It pairs beautifully with simple, nourishing foods. Think miso soup, steamed veggies, tofu, or a slice of grilled fish. It's the kind of meal that leaves your body feeling light, focused, and grounded. In Japan, rice isn't just a side dish, it's a foundation of calm, steady energy, and rice bread brings that same wisdom to your plate. So if you're looking for a bread that's not flashy but absolutely trustworthy, this is it. After 60, the best foods aren't the ones that excite your system, they're the ones that support it. Now, here's a bonus pick that not many people talk about, but it's an absolute gem when it comes to healthy aging: millet bread. Millet might sound exotic, but it's actually one of the oldest cultivated grains on Earth, naturally gluten-free, rich in antioxidants, and incredibly kind to your digestive system. In fact, it's been a dietary staple in parts of Africa and Asia for centuries, thanks to its resilience and nutrition. What makes millet bread so special? For starters, it's alkaline forming, which can help reduce acidity and inflammation in the body, a major plus for anyone dealing with joint pain, arthritis, or acid reflux. It's also packed with magnesium, phosphorus, and B vitamins, which support everything from nerve function to heart health. And similar to brown rice or rye, millet digests slowly, so you won't experience blood sugar spikes or crashes. Another benefit? It's often well tolerated by people with sensitive guts or mild food intolerances. And when made right, usually with minimal ingredients and no refined starches, millet bread has a subtle, nutty flavor that pairs beautifully with both savory and sweet toppings. So if you've already tried sourdough or sprouted grain bread and you're looking to mix things up, millet bread might be your next go-to. It's simple, steady, and exactly the kind of support your body needs after 60, or honestly, at any age. So, let's bring it all together. If there's one thing I hope you take from this video, it's this: you don't have to give up bread. You just have to choose the kind that works with your body, not against it. Because after 60, or honestly, even earlier, every bite you take is either fueling your future, or quietly stealing from it. The goal isn't perfection, it's awareness. It's learning to pause for just 5 seconds before buying that loaf and asking, is this feeding my brain, my joints, my energy, or just my habit? And you know, I keep coming back to something Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara, Japan's longest practicing physician, once said. He lived past 100, stayed active, and inspired millions. His advice was simple but powerful. Every bite you take after 60 is either investing in your future, or borrowing from it. That hit me hard, because it's not just about food, it's about the way we treat ourselves. And something as everyday as bread? It can either support your sharp mind, strong steps, and steady energy, or slowly chip away at them. So the next time you're in the bread aisle, don't feel overwhelmed, just feel empowered. Choose breads that give back to your body, not ones that take away from it. Your future self will thank you. Before you go, I've got a special health gift I'd love to share with you. On this channel, I share simple, effective health tips, all based on real scientific research and practical, everyday experience. And if you'd like to receive a free gift, it's super easy. Hit the subscribe button, comment below, claim my gift. I'll send it straight to you. Don't miss out, because your journey to better health starts with small choices just like this one.